the Sith Lord, and he punked Vader in the final boss fight. It was great. Like, the first time they went up against Vader, it was a hell of a fight. Everyone got beat the fuck up. They all walked away alive, though. They didn't actually kill Vader the first time around. Then they figured it out, they made a plan, and they went after Vader in one of the final boss fights. So, Vader's death essentially came down to bad rolls on his part. So, my friend Ulrich, who was playing an Ewok Sith, walks in, rolls to force grab Vader, and pin him up against the second Death Star window. So Vader had to make a will save to try and, negate this. He rolled a nat 1. And for those of you who don't understand what that means, anytime you roll a d20 like on an attack or something like that, and it lands on a 1, it's an automatic failure. Bad things can happen. So he just essentially chucked Vader out the window into the vacuum of space, and then pinned Emperor Palpatine to the floor with the Force. I was dungeon mastering, I was having bad rolls that night. It was still funny as shit. No, in the end, the party was filthy fucking rich. They had their own Death Star, a gold-plated Death Star. I actually went and figured out how much money a gold-plated Death Star would cost. They had enough to pay for it. They built a gold-plated Death Star. Ulrich's character attained immortality. Drengar's character was basically Ulrich's slave. Might have obtained immortality too, I don't remember, that was a long time ago. Then our other friend Circuit, who I occasionally do videos with on his channel, he owned the Hutt Empire. Like, he literally killed his way to the top, took it over, paid off everybody else. It was nuts. The second time it was just 2 players, Ulrich and Drengar, and me with the DM. They did bounty hunters. This campaign, in my opinion, actually went better with the first one, and still remains one of my favorites. Drengar and Ulrich are very, very experienced Dungeons & Dragons players, and they were doing bounty hunters, non-force using bounty hunters. The lengths they would go to prepare for a job were insane. Like, it was hard to surprise them in that campaign. Like, they're really good at planning. They covered almost everything that could possibly go wrong, and just seeing them play on that level and execute these insanely elaborate and complicated jobs, it makes a DM warm and fuzzy inside. It was really cool. I loved it. They did a great job. And now we're in my 3rd Star Wars campaign with Drengar, Ulrich, and my wife as players, with me DMing again, and I set this one during the prequel trilogy. And I'm trying to do, like, the last time they went, the first time they went straight up villains. The second time they were kind of neutral, they were in it for the money. And now I'm actually trying to get them to do, like, a redemption story for their characters. Like, their characters are former Jedis, they all have something in their past that resulted in them having to leave the Order or getting kicked out or whatever. And now they're trying to, get back in, make amends for what they did in the midst of the Clone Wars. So if anybody in the comments has ideas that you think would work out well in my campaign, please put them forward. I'll consider them. I can't promise anything, but I could use all the inspiration I can get for this campaign. And if you're lucky and somebody comes up with a really, really good idea, I might even film the campaign and put it on YouTube, just so you guys can, see the fruits of your labors and all that stuff. You got anything else going on in the D&D world? Not at the moment, I don't think so. So let's move on from D&D. What else is there to talk about? Well, me and the wife saw Suicide Squad not too long ago. I highly recommend that movie to anybody looking for a good movie to see, if it's even still in theaters. A lot of people were concerned about Jared Leto's Joker. Personally, I didn't see any reason they should be concerned. He did a good job, in my opinion. Didn't get near enough screen time, which is what some of the review articles are all about. Like, apparently a bunch of his scenes got left on the cutting room floor, which sucks, because, in my opinion, he made a great Joker. Like, I'd say he was halfway between, like, the classic Batman animated series Mark Hamill Joker and Heath Ledger's Joker from The Dark Knight. Like, he had the look and the attitude of Mark Hamill's Joker, plus grill and prison tattoos and stuff like that. But he didn't go in for, like, the gag items, like the acid-spewing flower and, like, the bang flag gun. He actually used weapons. He used knives and guns and stuff like that. So that was more in line with Heath Ledger's Joker, who's just, a psychotic killer with who knows what going on in his head. And I think it worked out really well. I mean, I wouldn't exactly call myself, like, the biggest DC fan in the universe. Like, I like the universe. I'm definitely more of a Marvel guy. But, from watching the old Batman cartoons and the Batman movies and, the Man of Steel, the Batman vs. Superman movies, like, I think Leto's Joker fits with the universe. Other characters in the movie, Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, spot on in my opinion. I liked it. It was good. Will Smith's Deadshot, not what I was expecting. Like, I'm used to seeing Will Smith in movies like Independence Day and Men in Black, and, he's like the comedic, one-line spewing, funny action hero kind of guy. He didn't go that route with his Deadshot. Like, his Deadshot was, obviously a badass, but he wasn't a boastful badass. Like, he was simply that character who's like, you're threatening me. I don't need to tell you that I'm going to kill you. I'm just going to do it in the most efficient way possible. Then there was the whole subplot with him trying to get back into his daughter's life and stuff like that, and dealing with his defeat at the hands of the Batman. It was really, really good. Like, it was more along the lines of, one of his, like, dramatic movies, where the tone was actually serious and he took his character seriously. Let's see who else was in the movie. El Diablo, the fire guy, really cool character. I'm not at all familiar with him from the comics or anything. He didn't get that much dialogue, but the dialogue he did have was beautifully written, in my opinion. Like, one of his first lines in the movie is when Amanda Waller and Rick Flag show up to try and recruit him for the Suicide Squad, and he just tells them, no, I'm gonna die in peace before I let you turn me into a weapon. All of his dialogue was great. His story, definitely a heartbreaker. Then you had Captain Boomerang, just being an Australian dick, for some reason obsessed with a pink fluffy unicorn that he carried around with him. That's never really explained, but I don't think it needs to. From what I know about Captain Boomerang from the old comics, he was a weird fucking guy. Just go look up the old Captain Boomerang and just look at his outfit and tell me he's not a fucking weirdo. Slipknot, I think was a one-shot character from the comics. Lasted in the movie all of 10 minutes before he got his head blown up. Spoiler alert, by the way, if you haven't seen the movie, skip this part. I think by far my favorite character is probably Killer Croc. He was ridiculous. He was not what I was expecting. Like, Killer Croc in, like, the Arkham Asylum games, and from what I've seen of him in the animated series, he's just kind of this slavering, psychotic monster. In this movie, he actually was more human. Like, underneath all of the scales and stuff, he was a gangster. Like, some of his dialogue was, I shit you not, I ain't axin' brah. Pretty friggin' gangster, plus the fact that he asked for a BET in his cell at the end of the movie, which is Black Entertainment Television, if you don't know. But during his fight scenes, like, yeah, he was using his brute strength and his teeth and stuff, which is in line with what he did in the comics, but he's also a former alligator wrestler, so he was actually throwing in some, like, professional grade wrestling moves when they were fighting, the mooks of the Enchantress and whatever the other magical dude's name was. They never actually said in the movie, so I don't know. Let's see, what else? Katana and Rick Flag, both really cool characters. Not much character development on Katana's part. There's basically a flashback that tells you she has a sword that sucks out the souls of the people she kills with it, and it imprisons them forever, and her husband's soul is trapped in there. That's about it. Most of her dialogue is not even in English. I don't even know if she actually had any English dialogue, I don't remember. Rick Flag, the leader of the Suicide Squad, is romantically entangled with the lady